Welcome to Daily Zohar. The Zohar in Parashat Matot says, based on the pasuk in Yeshiva, Rabbi Chia said, Simchu et Yerushalayim vegilu ba kol ohavea, sisu itam mesos. Rejoice, Jerusalem. Simchu et Yerushalayim. You have to make her so-called happy. Giluba, rejoice with her. Who? Kol ohaveha. Sisu ita, rejoice with her. Mesos. Right? There are different levels of joy. There's sos, gila, ditza, rina, and so on and so forth. Ahava, achva, shalom, vereut. As we say in the brachot. So here, rejoice with Jerusalem. Come and see, he says, when Beit HaMikdash was destroyed and the sins of the Jews caused that the Jews who were expelled from Israel, Nishtalek HaKadosh Baruch Hu lemala lemala. HaKadosh Baruch Hu withdrew himself all the way up. Pull himself up. ולא השגיח על החורבן של בית המקדש ועל עמו שהגלו. And kind of removed himself from the destruction of the temple and the exile of his people. It is like a father that knows that his son is going through some hard time because of his wrongdoing, and does not want to see his son suffering, so he kind of removed himself from that because he would not be able to hold himself to see in the misery of his child, but he knows he has to get it in order to see, to fulfill sometimes what Shlomo HaMelech says, Chosech shifto soneh beno. If you are not, I won't say whipping your kid because you're not supposed to hit them, but if you being too soft and too gentle with them, at the end somebody's going to be hard on them. You have to sometimes be tough with your kids just because you love them. You know, you have to let your kids know that there is such thing as consequences of and failure for them to try hard. Because if you're going to tell them, don't worry about it, they're never going to try hard. Sometimes you have to be hard with them so they would be aware that they need to put as hard of an effort as they can. But even more so if they were, it's like somebody once told me that he was involved with, before marijuana was legalized, he was involved and he was caught by the cops. His father was a very rich guy. Rich guy, for me everybody's a rich guy. But the cops got him and he was there for 24 hours and was supposed to go on bail, and his father refused to pay it. Refused to pay it. He said, let him learn the consequences. He says, that was the day that I stopped smoking pot. So here HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you're not going to be able to tolerate the suffering. So therefore he withdrew him, in a way like went into the inner chambers. It says, Kasher Yarad, when he went down, Hishgiach al beito, he looked at his house, temple. Ve'inen nisraf, it's burnt. Istakel alamo, he's looking at his people. Ve'ine heglu, they went to exile. Sha'al ala malka, he asked about the queen. Who is the queen? The queen is the Shekhinah, the heavenly presence. Vehi hugleta, he also went to exile because the Shekhinah and the Jews are inseparable. The Jews went to Galut, to exile. The Shekhinah. Heavenly providence went with them. Then it says, Vayikra Hashem Elokim Tzevaot, and then God, Elokim refers to Midat Adin, and Tzevaot refers to the army, like Midat Adin. Bayom Ha'u, then he will call those days, Levechi ulemisped velikorcha ulchagor sak. He called those days for crying, for mourning, and to wearing a bag, a sack, to irritate your body. That's what their rituals of mourning were quite different than what we do today. They used to put on their body burlap, so it'll be very uncomfortable for you to wear. Vehi gam hi. Ma katuv ba. What does it say on her, on the Shekhinah? And he says, Kibetula chagurat sak al ba'al neurea. Is a virgin maid that is wearing mourning clothes on her beloved husband, on the love of her life. I knew a woman like this. She was the fiancée of my best friend that died. He died when he was 19 years old. And she mourned him until, I think she was 40. I don't think she got married. I spoke to her a few years ago. She was like in her mid-40s and she wasn't married. She mourned him all her life. She mourned him all her life. We call her the unwed widow. So, as we say, why she mourned him? Ki eineno, because he's not here. Bikashti et she'ahava nafshi. I looked for the one whom my soul loved, like in Shir HaShirim. Bikashti et she'ahava nafshi. I looked for him and I couldn't find him. I looked, I couldn't find him. Why? Mishum shenistalek mimena v'na'asa perud. He removed himself from her, and now there is a separation. Va'afilu hashamayim ve'aretz, even heaven and earth, hitablu kulam, mourn also. Hitablu alea, they cried on her. Shekatuv albish shamayim kadrut v'sak asim kesotam. I would dress, it's an analogy, but I would dress the sky even with gray clouds, kadut, koder, with darkness. V'sak asim kesutam, I'll cover them with burlap. Malachim elyonim, even angels, mourn her. Shekatuv, hen arelim tza'aku. Arelim is the high angels. Even they cried. Hashemesh ve'alevana hitablu v'nechshechu orotehem. Even the sun and the moon, the lights was not the same. Shekatuv, because it says, choshech hashemesh betzeto, the darkness of the sun when it rises. Of course, the sun is the sun, but we're talking about here other suns, other lights. The light is not more anymore light of bracha. Yes, it gives us nourishment, but it's not the spiritual light that was generated from that as well. V'chol elyonim v'tachtonim bachu alehem v'itablu. And they all cried and mourned for the Shekhinah that is in Galut, for Am Yisrael that is in Galut, and for the destruction of the temple. When you read this, to me, to my very insignificant opinion, I don't understand how we could have given the Temple Mount back. I don't know. I don't know. So what's the reason? What's the reason they all cried? Mishum she'asitra achara shalta alea. The evil side, the bad side, the other side, sitra achara, the other side, control over her. And how? Sheshalta al kol haaretz hakdosha. Then the Sitra Achara controls the Holy Land. Once the Kedusha goes, the impurity, the Tum'ah comes in. That's why a Jew that in his life has the potential to greatest Kedusha, the greatest holiness, when he departs from this world, the body becomes the most impure. There's no such thing as, half Kadosh, half holy, half impure. Either you are or you aren't. So the holiness of the land went out, and now the evil, the tum'ah, the impurity controls the land. You don't believe me? Look at history. And it says, ומשום זה, and because of that, כיוון שהמלכות הקדושה, מלכות שמיים הושפלה, it was a disgrace for heaven. How? That the Jews sinned to such an extent that they had to be exiled. That's why I told you 1,000,000 times, it is not about you. It's about us. It's about Shamayim. It's about heavens. You, as an individual, has no place in this thing. What does it have to do with me? What does it have to do with Am Yisrael? What does it have to do with Shamayim? This is why we have to be super righteous now. By the way, this thing just, I think, blew a fuse. And because of that, Malchut HaRish'ah, no, just leave it. Malchut HaRish'ah Hidgabra. That's why every person should mourn that with the Holy Kedusha. That's why during this time, guys, don't be so involved with yourselves. Don't be so narcissistic. But Rabbi, I can't listen to music. So you can't listen to music. Rabbi, I don't know, I have to shave. Rabbi, I don't look good. You looking good? If God forbid your mother would have been dead, or she would die now, would you say, I want to shave, I want to listen to music? You will be so careful not to listen to music during the year. You will be so careful to fulfill all the requirements of mourning. But this is our mother also. This is our father in Shamayim. Why don't you care? Why are you so selfish? You don't care. Is it hard not to listen to music for 3 weeks? No. No, if you know why you're doing it. If you don't know why you're doing it, there's no point to anything. That's why you have to learn. Why aren't you learning? Why aren't you learning? Why don't you see what the destruction is all about? Because we disconnected ourselves from what happened 2,000 years ago. It's not it didn't happen to us, it happened to them. It happened to us too. So every generation that we are not able to fix that, we are as guilty as they are. And because of that, בשביל זה, כאשר תקום המלכות הקדושה, when the holy kingdom will be up again, and that's not malchut of people, malchut shamayim, והעולם יהיה שמח, and the world will be in simcha, in joy. Right now we're not happy. Are you happy? Oh, I'm very happy. You're not happy. You don't know what joy is. You want to know what joy is? Remember this: when your first child is going to come up to this world, and you're going to see your child for the first time, that is somewhat of a joy. That's simcha. It's something that, such joy that will bring you to tears. We are not happy. So when this happens, Yismach gam hu ima, he will also rejoice with her. Shekatuv, because it says, Sisu ita mesos, rejoice, kol hamit'ablim alea, those who mourn her. What does that mean? If you did not feel the pain of the Shekhinah that is in Galut, if you did not feel the pain of Am Yisrael in Galut, you will not be able to appreciate and rejoice on the Simcha. Because for you it will be, just another thing. If you don't go to Eretz Yisrael, and when you leave the land, you have to come back here, if you don't feel that a part of you is being torn away, what's the point of you going there to begin with? It's just for you to go to Israel, if you don't feel that when you leave, it's like for you going to, I don't know, Switzerland. It's a nice place, but don't feel anything. No me canta. So we keep those laws of mourning to teach us appreciation. And when the good thing will happen, we will be able to have simchat olam, eternal happiness. I really hope that one day we all be merit to have simchat olam and eternal joy. And this shiur is dedicated to refuah shlema of Beila Bat Shprinza Pearl, and to the Hatzlacha of Hegel Sarah Bat Reuven Lev. Amen.